So I've been doodling to myself in my notepad of things that might be torturous to everyone, including Otto.
Oh, God.
Hold on. And this is just how everybody needs to start their day if they're listening to us. It's just a wonderful... It's what Otto hears in his head whenever it plays. It's 1985. You just got out of your high school prom, and you and your date are walking down the road. You see him. He steps into the moonlight, and there he is.
I knew it.
Underneath your feet, you see a crowbar. And you know it's instantly a fight for your life. And it is on. Like, Heidi pulls out a fucking Glock. I'm sorry. I can't stop it. It's got a mind of its own.
I as soon as I said something, because we were talking about, I knew it. I saw the look in your eye and the run to your phone. I knew I was about to be tortured.
I couldn't help it because today I was having a slow day at the Vape Sack Prime, and I was sitting with Tiny, and I was like, God, I love how much that song annoys him. I said, but I want it to be scary for everybody. And that is like the most monstrous, like old record players sounding like I could make it, especially within 5 seconds to try to make sure I got it done fast.
I enjoyed it both times that I've been subjected to this.
I hate it. It's such a dumb song. It doesn't even make sense.
How does it not make sense? How did it not
Have you read the lyrics?
As a matter of fact, I know
we read the lyrics on this show.
I know, and they don't make sense.
Tiny, I just wanted to check if he remembered, because sometimes we do stuff on this show, and he's like, I heard this somewhere that this had happened.
I heard this on I think a podcast somewhere.
I think
that was 2 weeks ago.
I think I heard on Nerd It Through the Grapevine or some kind of podcast I've heard before or listened to or might have sat through once or twice in real life that, I'm sorry, I turned you into Doug, the damn dog from Up.
Look, I was listening to this podcast the other day, and one of the three guys that was on there, they were talking about nerdy stuff, and he just goes, So
the way that my brain files things, it's a lot of piles of manila folders.
I know, that was you.
That just get loosely thrown around, and it's just one guy that has to sort through all of it. So things don't always work out right. The information's there. It's just not in the right order.
Otto, I just want to thank you for, one, the amount of joy you brought me with that, and two, for the sound bite that I now have on one of my buttons for Discord is that. So thank you.
I'm so glad that my brain blue screening was able to get you something.
We were playing Halo the other night, and I did real bad. And I pushed your voice saying the
yeah, because we
all died.
You boot up, but it. like you Tim Allen almost too, like at the beginning of Home Improvement. Bam, man, that is guys, that last episode got me chuckling even today. Also the Cotton Eye Joe spending time on that, trying to turn it into a horror theme was pretty funny. Also, I just think that it'd be cool to let everybody know that's listening to the podcast. I mean, it's not like this is fresh news for anybody. But San Diego Comic-Con's going on currently, and they made an announcement about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know it's kind of burnt out and everything, but I think they were redoing a lot of stuff, and all these multiverses and timelines and everything that they've got going on are supposed to kind of be resolved with this Wolverine Deadpool movie I'm about to go see tomorrow. So I'm kind of excited for it, but I saw from San Diego Comic-Con they made the announcement that they're going to have Secret Wars. So Secret Wars is a go. They're going to be doing that in most likely a multi-part movie series instead of doing the Kang Dynasty. So they're going to be redoing a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, I actually saw where Avengers 5 got renamed from Dynasty of Kang to something with Doctor Doom in it.
Yeah, played by Robert Downey Jr.
I'm curious how it's going to go.
Well, how can he play more than one Marvel character? I thought that
That-
was the thing Disney said no to.
No.
That, and also, I don't think he would make a good Doctor Doom.
Oh, I think he can do whatever he wants to, man. He can play. I mean, he can play a complex character. I mean, I've seen a bunch of the stuff that he's done with, like what was that Jamie Foxx movie with the cello and Tiny? What happened?
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah,
That movie? Where
Was
he's
he in
playing,
that?
Playing the cello?
is that
He
Zero
was
Dark-
on like a cruise ship.
Tiny?
Like,
Are
in
you
the
talking
van?
about Titanic? You're talking about
That's
Titanic.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh my God! Talk about a train going off the rails. Imagine being in the ocean that's a wide open ocean and you crash into the biggest fucking thing out there and kill everybody.
I mean, it was an inside job.
Hi, everybody. I'm Austin Shazam. I'm so fucking proud for Celine Dion. Pfeiffer.
I'm Otto. My car got into a fight with another car and lost last week. Cogdell.
And I'm Tiny, editor-in-chief.
And we are Nerd It Through the Grapevine, a podcast where three best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. We're going to get into a little bit of everything today, as we typically have been doing, because that is kind of how it works whenever you have brains like this. But the everything that we're going to try to focus around today is going to be something called Sentai. And Sentai is most commonly
on.
known to people from the...
Hold on, isn't this like akin to anime?
No, that's
You know,
Sentai
and-
with an H.
And
This
they
is
can-
with an
and there's
S.
sometimes like tentacles.
No.
No,
You are
no.
thinking of a fun sound bit to put in here later. You're thinking of hentai with an H,
Oh,
not the
so-
other. And now I can't even remember.
So this whole week of academy training has been for nothing.
Oh,
Oh.
boy, I'm
Oh.
sorry you missed the memo and misspelled it with your own eyes, unlike me who just
You may-
doesn't read.
You may want to clear some of that browser history off.
No, you can
No.
you can keep it if you want
Look,
to. It's pretty accurate to you in the
My
first place.
NSA guy, I feel sorry for him. They probably have to rotate him out like every 6 months
Probably
just
an
for
alcoholic.
psychiatric care. Oh, by far, he is definitely the most aggressively alcoholic man you've ever seen.
I was actually watching something Elon Musk was talking about the other day and talking about something with the dark web, and he said, or as other people might know it who are in the circles, Tiny's backup drives. No, Sentai with an S. It's basically, if you are a child of the 90s, then you absolutely know what we're talking about. We're talking about Sentai as in Super Sentai, as in the origins of what Power Rangers were.
Go Power Rangers!
Power Ranger song.
You don't know the Power Rangers song?
I do, but I was gonna actually put the real one in there a little bit
I get that, but
and kind of have us layered over the
you
top.
you want to know something really, really messed up about the Power Rangers theme song?
I'm about to.
Do you know the Power Rangers theme song, like the verses?
Go
Go
Power
Power
Rangers,
Rangers.
you mighty morphin Power Rangers. Go Power Rangers, you mighty morphing Power Rangers.
And then there's verse, because
What?
that's during the first takes of stuff.
Yeah, then there's the world's sickest guitar lick.
That's
no, that's
true.
in Go Green Ranger.
Oh God, Go Green Ranger was a bop. Same thing with the White Ranger, Tiger Power. Here's the
I
thing.
like how they overlap. Go Green Ranger go a little bit with the white before they transition to the new.
You-
I appreciated that as an adult.
You know how I like to. I'm cricking over here. Sorry, I'm cricking. There it goes. You know how I like to keep things in my brain in special files? Like, I have a lost and found of 1990s memorabilia inside of my inside of my like my storage cabinet full of like memories that are worth having. And inside of this consists of these words, and you can look them up for me. I might be off by one or two. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Otto, you can.
Okay, so we're looking at
Power Rangers theme song.
Okay, let me get the lyrics up so we can call them on it.
Make sure it's Mighty Morphin.
Now, I'm trying to remember, and this is me trying to remember it based off of my memories of it as a child watching this, because when the Thunderzords happened, the Thunderzord seasons actually brought in Lord Zed, and they brought in a new theme song to go with it.
Thunderzords was after Ninja Before Shapes?
Before Ninja. Shogun Zords were after Ninja Before Shapes.
Okay, so are we starting?
Okay, I'm tracking now.
Ready?
It's hard to
We're starting
remember.
from verse 1? Or
We're just going to go from the Go Power Rangers.
Okay, I'm watching.
Go Power Rangers. You Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Okay, cool. Got through all that. Then you get into. Hold on. They've got a power and a force that you've never seen before.
You're right. I remember, we literally watched it.
I'm trying to remember it. You can correct me later.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right so far.
They've got the ability to morph and to even up the score.
Yep, you're right.
No one can ever take them down. The power lies on their side.
I don't need Otto to tell me that you are exactly correct, and I hate you.
Go Power Rangers!
Right.
Tell me what I got off on that.
So it starts at verse 1 is they've got the power, they've got the force.
Oh.
And then it does it's verse 1 pre-chorus, and the chorus is the Go Power Rangers. So it doesn't do the chorus first. You said the chorus first.
No,
Okay.
he was just saying it to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I'm just getting it out
He
of the way.
wasn't saying order.
Okay,
It
but
was-
yeah. And then there's a whole
Because that was actually redone by Aaron Waters. Aaron Waters, that's the one who done the Power Rangers music. You can look at that too and see if I'm correct.
I believe you.
You're on the lyrics. You should have the writer of the stuff.
Yes, but that means scrolling around and not what I was
Look.
looking at.
There's even a second verse too, but I don't
Hold
think I
on,
need to get into
hold
that,
on.
do
And
I?
it says that it's written by
You're
Ron
not my
Wiseman.
dad.
Oh, I'm
You're
sucky.
using Dad
It was
Dane voice.
It was performed.
Dad's gone.
It was performed
But-
by Aaron Waters. I apologize.
But there's actually, after the second round of the chorus, there is a bracketed guitar solo and then pre-chorus.
Because did they have the second verse listed on there too?
Yeah, so would you like me to read verse 2?
No, hold on. Let me think. Let me see if I can remember, because that one's the hard one, because they only had that during like long scenes that were needing to be epic in Power Rangers. They know the fate of the world is lying in their hands. They know to only use their weapons for defense. And then it goes back into the no one can ever take them down. The power lies on their side. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Yes! That's the hard one!
That is surprising. You can add knowing the Go Power Rangers song to your
The
list
entirety.
of When are you
You
get?
should do that in the band with your dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when can I hear that then at Red Silo?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. If I can,
Look, how amazing will that be?
that would make me happier than, okay, I'm going to bust out. I got oh my God, I got a child coming up, big hunk of it. Make me happier than a dog with two peckers. Oh man, I'll be happier than a pig in shit.
I'm like a possum up on a porch fence eating peach pits.
That's like a tornado in a trailer park.
Oh, that's destructive. That's not joyous.
It's like my dad's nipples, they migrated.
Oh, don't.
I'm full of the callbacks.
Nobody answered the call for those. Yeah, God, I loved Power Rangers so much, but Saban, the people that had that did Power Rangers, actually just took, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, but we didn't actually do a deeper dive into the ones who used the formula of this. You know, here's your hero. Here's how they morph and they get this power from X source. Here's this costume change to costume superheroes.
It's like the genre.
Yeah, to break it down for D&D nerds,
Yes.
they're like sci-fi warlocks.
And
That's
then
Patreon is Zordon.
And then there's other versions of things that also
Not Patreon.
Patron. They pay him $10 a month to get access to the Power Rangers power. Step up next to the $15 tier to get the Megazord.
At the $20 tier, you get to see us naked.
Oh Lord, I don't know if
The
I'll go that
$25
far
till Alpha will come to your room for a night.
$20 for $20 a year up front. Hey, speaking of that, Tiny had one a sidebar. Just real quick.
On this show?
Are we chopping this out?
No. This is actually good. This is this is good conversation here. It just that I'm sidebarring. You go because we're talking about the Power Rangers and all this other nerdy stuff real quick. But we're wanting to take a trip on a road trip, and would go off and go to some bookstores and go to a couple of different comic book and nerd shop kind of places, and go to. It's in a town that's about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from here.
I think I know a town that you're talking about.
Starts with an M.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Urfies.
Yeah.
And so we go there and say, do you want to all go in the same vehicle together? And Trudy would like to go too. If Heidi wants to go, she can. So we can all go on a trip together in a rented vehicle for the day. Just have a big old comfy van to ride in, so we can all be comfortable while we're going. Like Tiny can have a third row.
Yeah.
It can go like me, Trudy, Otto, Heidi, and then Tiny's got the giant lounge seat in the back. Like, look at me,
King Tiny.
chauffeur, chauffeur.
Pardon me.
Pardon me, sir. Do you have any grape poop on?
Pardon me, sir, but could you stop and give me a little bit of scotch?
So
Or however snooty people talk.
yeah, I don't know how to. Snoot.
I don't know. I'm not rich enough to even fake it.
I can't. You know,
Olive
fake
Garden
it till you
is
make it.
fancy. I'm not in that bracket.
Olive Garden is not fancy. Olive Garden is heartburn.
Expensive like it is.
Red
just
Lobster.
like when you're with family.
Red Lobster is, and that's why so many of them closed. Here's something that came out that I thought was a neat little twist, because Fox Kids was the place where you went to watch Power Rangers earliest releases.
So it's in the Fox box.
It was in the Fox box. So they had some spin-offs that Saban, the company, tried to, also the person named after him, so Haim Saban. They had a different show that I used to love as a kid, because I used to watch these shows like Hercules, The Legendary Journey, and I used to watch like all these different shows where like the Kid in King Arthur's Court and all these like night shows and everything else like that. And so I was like really into like dragons and knights and all this other stuff, and I was like, okay, magic and dragons and knights. And they had one that was a Sentai that was on Fox Kids that was called The Mystic Knights of Tirnanog. It was a fantasy adventure television series. It was a fantasy version of ancient Ireland, and it was created by Saban Entertainment in the 1990s. 1998 to 1999 was when it ran. It only had one long-running season, but the name is derived from Tirnanog. It is a place of the other worlds in Irish mythology. And the different warriors that they had along the way would have different powers, and they would have to call upon the powers of like these ancient runes to grant them with the ability based on like Irish mythology.
That's really
cool. And it was so badass. I wish that it could get a redo of some sort that gave it a little bit more budget, because this was a trial. But this is so cool. The main character's name is Rohan. He's of course the Red Ranger. He's going to be. Oh wait, actually no. Crackety crack chat. No. I misread. No. She's a lady.
Now, was this a Japanese show?
No, this was all American
this was
stuff.
an American show.
This was all American stuff.
So this was like a full on like this guy's like, I want to do the Power Rangers, but in Ireland with magic.
Yeah, and the way that here we go. He had the Pyre dragon armor, so he had also the Sword of Kells. So he obtains the ability to become more powerful by the war cry Battle Fury. And when he has armor made more powerful in the forge, that's what he gets after he gets his more powerful armor. But throughout the beginning of the series, which is crazy because this all happened in a year, it felt like forever when I was a kid. Like, oh my god, I can't believe that he's got a power up. But he would say, "The fire within me," and like he'd be like engulfed in flames, and now he's got like this dragon-clad armor on.
Dang.
Let me show you a picture of it real quick, just because it is worthy of a look-see-loo here.
I'm gonna try to allocate that.
Yeah, because that is that's something to call upon the ones with the eye patches. Let's see, because they have pictures of the entire cast, and they have different armors as well. Like it happened as like Power Rangers, like when Tommy went from the Green Ranger to the White Ranger. They had that same kind of transition go on in here, and they had such dope costumes.
You also can't forget Jason became the Gold Ranger. That is cool.
Oh yeah, that's
and
pretty
they would
neat.
all have their own call-outs to the different mystical source that they got their powers from. Let me go through the different ones here because they were all pretty cool. Rohan was the fire one, and then you had Deidre. She was the princess. She had a whirlwind crossbow. She would say, "The air above me," and then she would transform into hers. Ivar, he was a prince from a distant land. He was the blue, and he would always say, "Water around me." Angus was like the strong kind of doofy one. He had a big old rock called the Terra Sling Mace. This all sounds like some D&D shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's just like a weird D&D part of thinking, we should do the Power Rangers.
Yes, he would always say his is Earth Beneath Me.
New campaign idea.
And his he was able to obtain a mystic armor with the Rock Wolf of Tamra. Gosh, and all this is based in Irish lore.
That's pretty
And then
cool.
you had
awesome.
and then you had the Tommy, the later ad, Garrett. Garrett was he was the one who inherited the powers of the Irish forests and the Fae. Ooh, I got goosies. And he would say he was like the sixth ranger. He would say "forest before me," and he would then be engulfed in the powers of the ancient forests of Ireland. So I think that one was just entirely underrated as far as like people remembering
I'm
it.
sad I didn't know
Like,
anything about that.
Listen to this damn theme song. Like, I think we'll get away with this. Let's roll the damn dice. And I mean the Celtic sound,
I mean,
everything was
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was
Like,
really
for real.
cool.
So, I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it's because that's too much damn tinking for some kids. Because our kids going to be, unless they're, for someone like us that's like gotten into mythology and is of a certain age, like you've done deeper dives into like knowing things, it's cool to be able to just like look back at this kind of stuff and know that somebody has touched on it already. How good was it? I don't remember. I just remember it was cool by like 7-8-year-old standard.
Right.
So the premise still sounds cool.
Oh,
Done
yeah.
a specified way, it would be cool. But I mean, it is. I don't know if it'd be something that would be able to be remade and be a little bit darker. But I mean, and more for people that are our age, because that could be just enough nostalgia. Like, hey, I remember this. Like, what's this version of it? So
It's like adult Power Rangers.
God,
kind?
they never did that.
Well, they were working on one when the great Jason David Frank left us. Legend of the White Dragon. That was supposed to be an adult version, adult-oriented Power Rangers style movie.
And I don't know if that's going to actually be able to come to
They had
fruition. or
talked
not.
about continuing because I think they had got all the things they needed with Jason or was close enough. But I don't know if they've actually what their projected completion date is.
Yeah, I would like to see them still get that movie, and a good chunk of the portion of the movie go to Jenna. And,
Yeah.
I don't know what Tammy... damn, why do I know his family's name? I don't...
I was wondering, I'm like, how close are you with this guy?
I mean,
Who
I was
are these
like-
characters in the show?
What's going on?
What?
Well, I mean, no, I'm tracking because he had a YouTube channel where he'd have his family on there.
Oh, okay. I
So-
wasn't
Yeah,
invested
I
in the
knew
lore.
the names when he said them. I'm like, oh yeah, that's his wife and his daughter. Okay, yeah, yeah.
And my brain just... in my head...
Like he sidebar because Jason David Frank was one of my favorite celebrities. I actually cried when that man died.
Dude, I did
Only
too.
one.
I met him.
I never did get to meet him, and that's what makes me sad too because I always wanted to.
And I was so overwhelmed, I didn't even know what to do.
And I wouldn't ask him, "Are you Dragonzord power or something?" I would think I would do this one good. But what was I saying?
The first time I ever met him...
He held a world record for chopping the most boards while skydiving, and I think it was like 16.
What kind of a record is that?
It was one that was already in place, but then he broke it.
Not
I
only
did-
that, but he's in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Right,
Yeah.
but who's
he created
jumping
his-
out of an airplane playing, I bet I can chop like 15 boards in the time
I
it
don't
takes
know.
me.
Somebody had did it before him. Well, and not only that, he was the top. What martial art did he use? It's that really just kind of
well-
swooshy sounding one. Muay Thai. He was, I think it was Muay Thai.
Well, it's actually his own version that he taught at his school, but I can't remember what it's called.
Americanized
like
it
Jeet
later.
Kune Do or something.
Yeah, he Americanized it later, but he was the highest ranking person in that art in the United States.
Oh, he kicked asses upon real asses in that cage. But, to be able to take, like, something like that has such a good story premise to it and then transform it into something that is made for somebody our age, because we were there at the dawn. We were there at the dawn of
we know the deep magic.
Like, the only thing that I think predated the actual wave of Power Ranger stuff that hit America and got everything popular for that, because once the American boom happened, it became multi-billion-dollar. And they had stuff before it that actually they had a Spider-Man in Japan that was a live action that he had a giant spider robot and he had like spider gadgets and stuff, and
Right.
like he would transform like with a morpher into Spider-Man.
Yeah, and he had a spider car and a spider motorcycle and a jet ski.
And then they had an anime that had come out in 1985 that was a Sentai, but it wasn't an exact like transforming Sentai. It was just about an elite unit force in space that had a giant Zord-like robots that they would pilot around everywhere, and they happened to all be lions. Can you name that show?
Thundercats?
No, that's one wrong answer.
Oh,
If I give you the first letter, will you know it?
possibly
V.
Voltron.
Voltron. So that was that was
There
also
there's
another
another one too. I just can't remember.
See, I was thinking Voltron, but for some reason my mouth
VR
said
Troopers
Thundercats.
is another one with a V.
Had Leopardon. That was the name of the Zord, Leopardon.
Leopardon?
Yeah.
Leopardon? I've never heard of a
That
Leopardon.
was probably another series of Power Rangers.
No, it was a Power Rangers like show,
I don't know.
but it was like in space. That was the name of the big robot. Was Leopardon.
Are you sure it was Leopardon?
Yes, I'm sure because I remember them also mentioning it in Ready Player One, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. And now I don't remember.
I can't remember either. I'll have to look that up. Did you guys look up any kind of Sentai stuff that you wanted to talk about? Because Mystic Knights of
Kamen Rider.
Tiernanog was like the one that I wanted to talk about the most, because that was the one that because I got a whole big old list of them. But
Well, I'm gonna see if this is still alive because I actually have one that I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah, I was.
This is not alive, but Kamen Rider.
yeah,
That was it was very akin to Power Rangers. Of course, this one is straight Japanese, but they did do a couple American series and they a lot of dubs. But it was
Right.
more geared towards like teenager, young adults. Some of them it got very adult. There was one season of Kamen Rider where basically they had 12 of them, and they put them in like a Hunger Games style arena, and the last one alive was like the best one.
Was this like a show or like?
Yeah,
it
it was a show, and instead of having a team of heroes, it was one.
Yeah,
it was Kamen Rider.
yeah, and they had another one too that had Power Rangers crossovers called Masked Rider. And he kind of looked like a bug. He had green.
Well, I mean, Kamen Rider kind of looked like a bug too, especially.
He's a little bit more dragony
in
though.
there was one he looked straight up like a praying mantis with the big orange eyes. He didn't have
Yeah.
antennae.
I think
but-
I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah, of
'Cause
course. But he changes so much. Like one time, it was basically an Asian man in a cowboy hat and like almost Western clothes.
Right.
Like Kamen Rider it's just a wild thing. It's it had the big Zords and like motorcycles and the ground based combat and stuff. But it's definitely a neat one to check out.
Right.
I would suggest Kamen Rider way above Superhumans, Super Sentai Cyber Squad.
A Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Yeah, it's so hard to remember because the name's
Superhuman
Like a
Samurai Cyber Squad.
Yep.
Let's see. There's oh my heavens! I forgot that I'd cranked something on this. Yeah. So.
Oh, my heavens.
My another favorite
The
of
hog
mine.
cannot be uncranked.
was because I
Put it back.
yeah,
Boy, you
Get it.
really cranked that
I
hog.
cranked that hog hard.
Get the funnel.
So you know how I like to find the best things. This one has comparison charts between the reasons why it's like Power Rangers and why it is not like Power Rangers. So it does a pro and a con, like how it compares to Power Rangers and how it does not. Because all these things are around at the same time, and how do they compare? Because they all were successful the same way the Power Rangers were. So this was Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Okay.
The
I remember the name, but I don't think I've ever
how
seen
it is how it is similar to Power Rangers. It's number one, they share a crossover episode. Number two, they have battle suits and helmets and sci-fi topics. Here's the reasons why they differ from Power Rangers. There's no Super Sentai footage; it's all original stuff. There's no the powers come from a comic book, and all of their characters are inset themed. And the Big Bad Beetleborgs was on, I think it was also on Fox Kids. Because they also had an extra run of them where they had a different run of armors that they would have called the Beetleborgs Metallics, because Big Bad Beetleborgs big, and then they changed it to Beetleborgs Metallics.
Creative.
Yeah, no, isn't that I don't know a thing about. Yeah, because I can't remember names. Because I can remember that happened. I was there.
Well, see, you have some footage that you have logged just never got purged.
Yeah.
Like most of the theme song for Mighty Morphin. So, I mean, look, you know, an impressive amount of stuff. So there's bound to be some gaps.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Need to have some compression in there.
The only like Super Sentai thing I could think that I really watched besides Power Rangers, there's one. It was called Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
yeah, that's on the list.
Wasn't they like the monkeys in space, or is
So,
that a different one?
This is a newer one.
I'm thinking something similar. Go ahead.
Right. So this is about this kid finds this robot that is like abandoned. He goes inside of them, and then there's little robot monkeys that were created by a scientist that were in there, and he becomes friends with them. They
I
power up
remember
the
that.
robot. I remember because one of them was named Otto, and he was the green one with buzzsaw hands. And that was
Nice.
that was the first time that I was like, hey, wait, I have that name. And he's in a cartoon, and that's me, because I didn't like Otto Rocket Power. I hated that show. But I remember that. And then there's an anime actually out that is inspired by Power Rangers called Super Loser Ranger, I think.
Oh, hello.
And I've heard that it's pretty good. I've been kind of actually wanting to check it out because I hear it's like a more adult, realistic take on like Power Ranger-y stuff.
I watched an anime also that was based on that, and it's called Love After World Domination, and it's based on the lead Red Ranger character falling in love with the main princess villain, and they have to keep their love secret from everybody. So they'll like battle out on the battlefield, but they're like holding back like 90% of their power and just making it really, really sold.
I'll have to check that out because that sounds right up my alley.
And she ends up actually getting pissed off at him because he forgot to call her back, and she saw him talking to the Pink Ranger that morning, and she got really jealous and actually hit him at like 45-50% one time. And, oh my God, it was their first real fight. And it was wonderful. And all he's doing, the Red Ranger is literally obsessed with training all the time. He wants to be as strong as he can possibly make his body. And all she does is just like wonder what he's doing. Like, he's so dense and she's so doting. It's a very funny show.
I'll have to check that out.
Let me think of some other ones on here because Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go was actually on the list. So it has a comparison chart with it as well. I was going to pull up for you here to show how it is and is not Power Rangery. Okay. Team of color-coded heroes, intergalactic villains, and giant robot battles is how it's similar. It is not similar because it's got robo-monkeys instead of humans. It's got based for a younger audience, and it is an American-Japanese animation.
Right. Well, and also there's no like animal theming between like they're just color-coded, not animal and color-coded. coded like a lot of other Super Sentais. But I remember watching that one on, I think it was like Jetix. It was like what Toon Disney would turn into whenever it was like, we're not for the little kids, we're for like the middle schoolers. It's pretty good.
Back to Jason David Frank, he had actually tried out and had footage of him being the lead role of also VR Troopers, which they had virtual reality crystals that they would peer into, and the Trooper transform. We are VR.
To solve cybercrime in the cyber world.
No, that was in the real world. They had to transform and use the power of the virtual reality to transform them into their more powerful suits that they would get that are virtual reality based. Like, so they got enhanced strength because they've got this now digital armor on and all this other stuff. Like, you can look at them; they were pretty badass.
Right,
for a second.
I've seen pictures of it, but that's a very '90s understanding of how the internet works.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It's like how people throw VR in nowadays,
And-
or
Well, I mean,
AI in.
Well, think about Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. I mean, that was like crimes happening in one computer. You know,
Right.
So it's like they would go in and fight off viruses in a computer.
Why in the living fuck did the government never go to Angel Grove?
Right?
The Angel Grove's got, like, President, there's another giant monster in Angel Grove. In which state? It doesn't say, but it's the one with the giant monsters in it.
It has been destroyed 15 times this
Yeah.
year, and it is February.
Well, how?
And there's a team of color-coded people.
Well, so, is
Hold on, pause.
what
Hold
were you
on.
about to say there,
I'm
Ty?
gonna have to cut that.
I was real worried. I was like, wait a minute.
Let me try that again.
hold on.
We got to go there because there's a team of color-coded people.
You did it again. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter because that's what they
Yeah.
were. The color-coded
Yeah.
heroes.
Yeah,
That's all they were, was color-coded heroes. And a lot of times, too, oddly enough, looking back at the Power Rangers, Saban color-coded people. You had
Yeah.
the angry Italian in the red. You had the black guy in the black. You had the Asian Ranger in the yellow. I mean, it just
The
hit.
pink one for the girl.
The pink one for the girl, and you had Billy in the blue. I don't know what his purpose was.
They probably went Billy. Okay, blue.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's
Also,
left.
they refer to the recycled footage that you get from the Sentai television shows from Japan for the American usage. They call it tonkatsu television. Like
The Japanese people call it that?
No, it's inspired by tokusatsu. Tokusatsu, not tonkatsu. Tonkatsu's a freaking broth for ramen, boys. Tokusatsu. So tokusatsu is what all of those are the footage from, all of those different transformation shows. It's just that the Sentai element of it, and the reason it's been dubbed Sentai, is because the Sentai Ranger footage from the old Japanese footage was what actually popularized it more in Japan.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's still going on today. Super Sentai is.
Yes.
I mean, they've even made seasons making fun of themselves.
See, that had practical effects like Power Rangers did. It had transformation sequences like Power Rangers did. It differed because it actually pulled footage from 3 different other television shows to make it compiled into one television show. It had virtual reality as the main topic, and it only had 2 seasons.
So it like Frankenstein 3 shows together.
Yeah, let me read the premise of it here real quick to you. It says
This is VR Troopers,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
this is not the show's synopsis. This is just what it says about the show here and when it revolved around, time wise. It says a year after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, VR Troopers was relatively successful. The series followed 3 friends, Ryan, Caitlin, and JB, who were looking for Ryan's father when they stumbled across a virtual reality lab that somehow created access to a parallel dimension. Having practiced karate, the teenagers engaged in many action-packed fights with their VR enemies. Similarly to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the fight scenes relied on stock footage from Japanese shows. However, since the footage was taken from 3 different series, the protagonists never fought side by side.
Oh my god.
So they would have like fighting enemies here, fighting different looking enemies here.
Yeah, let me break this down in a nutshell for the layman, for the gardener here. So you have this show with 3 people who are siblings that somehow know karate, that go to space. and find this lab where they're studying virtual reality. So they get in there, and they're fighting air. They're fighting virtual monsters. So they're fighting air.
But never in the same frame.
Yeah, but never in the same frame.
Did they just
They're in different rooms fighting air.
Did they just do meth? Because I've seen some people at gas stations that are fighting air before.
So it says the
Look,
shows.
I got protected from some ninjas one day at work from one of these.
They were trying to
people.
steal my big gulping corn
I kept
dog.
waiting on them to morph.
It says the shows. Damn it! I hate you. The shows.
Crystal power. With this rose pipe.
Power up, rose pipe.
Summer teeth.
Oh God, just gumming on a Slim Jim.
This little robot is called Summer Teeth, and he's creaky.
Oh God! Slingshot replacement cord tourniquet, boy. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God! The show's reliance on stock footage from those 3 different shows trying to be compiled all into the one was undoing. The scenes quickly ran out, and they started recycling footage. The audience noticed, and the show no longer progressed.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you try to bandage 3 shows together that had nothing to do with each other, I'm
Right.
surprised that the patient died.
I'm sure trying to form a continuity with that would have been a logistical nightmare.
I have these 3 dead corpses. I wonder if I can make them into one living corpse. Wow, it's still a corpse.
But I
Who would
wanted
have
to
thought?
have 3 heads.
And the number one actual one on this list was Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog, and its similarities to Power Rangers and its differences were listed as such. Teenagers join forces to fight against evil. They have morphing sequences, unique weapons for each warrior. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that because, I mean, they have the crossbow for the air one. They have the big flaming sword for the fire one. They have a trident for the water one. And they've got that giant boulder mace for the boulder one.
Nice.
You know, the rock one, the strong one.
Right.
And then for the forest one, he's got like short daggers. Like it's no, he's got an axe. He had an axe.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he had a
Nice.
giant dwarf axe. I forgot.
Like a big old fuck off axe.
Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog.
While we're talking about Green Ranger weaponry, what was with the Green Ranger in Power Rangers having a dagger that was called a sword that he also called a trumpet that sounded like a flute that shot a laser beam out of it and never cut anything?
Well, here's the thing. He had a sword. He did have a sword, the dragon sword.
Yep.
But the dragon sword was powered by the evil of Rita Repulsa, and it was an evil weapon that it could only be used for evil deeds. And when he had it in his possession, he was controlled by that evil essence more so. So by using that also gave him more tremendous power as the Green Ranger, but it also drained him of his humanity and just made him evil.
Yeah, they had that in the Green Candle episode.
Yes, he had
Where
to.
it delved into that.
Yep. So he had to get the sword had to be destroyed. The next sword that he actually got was Saba when he got the White Ranger power. So,
Right.
But the Dragon Dagger was the ding 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 ding.
Yeah, and he'd say it was like he said it was one instrument, but it played like another
He
instrument.
always just called it the Dragon Dagger.
I don't know. I remember seeing something. This may be like 4 different Power Rangers episodes put together in my brain.
It was played like a flute, but it did sound like a trumpet. But
yeah,
he always called it
I
the
was just
Dragon
saying that it
Dagger.
doesn't make sense. That
Yeah,
he
I
put,
mean,
like
it
4
would
different
absolutely
things.
Put it this
was-
way, he also put it to the lips on his helmet to theoretically blow in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, you can't get air through that helmet.
Yeah, like
Ain't
it
no air
just-
coming from that helmet. Also, fun fact. They didn't have 70-foot tall robots with humans standing on top of them. They were human-sized robots with a minifig standing on top of them. That was my favorite thing about the
That's pretty
live-action
cool.
Yeah.
fighting sequences of stuff.
dude, did you see the kind of reunion episode? I think it was
Yeah, when
the new one with Billy.
yeah,
that came out like
Billy
a year
and-
or two ago.
Yeah, I think it had Billy, and I think it had
Zach.
No,
I don't know his name, but
was it Walter Jones?
It was the original Black Ranger.
Oh yeah, because I forgot because Adam and Kat had joined the Space Force Power Rangers. They SPD.
yeah. And I think they brought in
They brought in
Jason.
the continuity with
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these freaking.
Oh, I remember SPD.
Yeah,
it was like the
cool.
cop one.
Yep.
at
They
a
had joined
point, but
SPD.
it was cool. I don't know.
When the Power Rangers were cops, because that's cool.
I mean, technically, they've always been cops.
yeah.
Oh man, Magic Wand make my monster grow. That's
Can you
always...
imagine being on the force with them?
Oh god.
Like your sergeant comes out and he's
the
he's
Red
just-
Ranger.
He's like the Red Ranger and he's looking at you in the helmet.
It depends.
Or he's just sitting over at his desk typing, and then he just stops and he's really just staring off into space. But you look and it's like, I think he's staring at me, and it's like, I better look like I'm doing something. Oh my god!
Yeah. Do you think they wear the helmets around all the time? Like,
I
are
feel
they
like every time they go in the office, they morph before.
are they in like a board meeting, so they have like a dress shirt and tie, but also have the Power Ranger helmet on?
I feel like they're almost like a Delta Force kind of thing. So they would show up like with a suit and tie, kind of over the top of the like leotard suit.
I want to see
And
that.
so they just like Superman style tear it off if they need to. if
The
they need to
Office,
leave.
the Office,
Yeah.
but it's Power
They're like,
Rangers.
I hate to
We
tell
can never
you.
finish a meeting.
I hate to tell you, but that already happened.
Oh,
Yeah, it's in Power Rangers Time Force. Power Rangers Time Force has an entire like military force dedicated to the.
No. See, we're just talking about like the other
Corporate.
officers. They're just like very like corporate, like modern day police officers.
yeah, they're just like regular
well,
dudes.
In
Yeah.
Space Patrol, Space Patrol, not Space Patrol, but Time Force. They actually had the brother of this Power Ranger having was not a Power Ranger. He was in a military force that was actually fighting against
Yeah.
what the
And
Power Rangers were
then-
doing.
Wasn't
He
he the one that
found-
was a dog?
No. He was the brother of the Red Ranger because the Power Rangers lived in a clock tower. He was the brother of the Red Ranger, and he was in a paramilitary force. And then they were finding some ruins. He found an ancient Power Ranger weapon where, like, he put his hand in it, and he got turned into the Time Ranger? Crimson Ranger. I knew I had this on VHS. I remember this. He got turned into the Crimson Ranger. Then his Zord was this big ass T-Rex, and I remember I had one of those robot like.
Such a badass Zord.
I actually had like those robot pet things, like the silver ones, where like you can train it and do all this stuff. I had one of
which
those.
variation? Because the ones that came out whenever I'm thinking of are like, oh my god, it's the pet of the future, and you could just push a button on its head. And
Well, I had like this T-Rex one that like apparently is voice activated. It's a bunch of stuff that like I just had it, and I remember I would tape like Christmas or like paper towel rolls to the back of it, so it'd be a giant silver T-Rex with cannons like the one in there, because the one in the movie was like this like almost Spinosaurus looking one, like it didn't fully look like a T-Rex, but it was cool.
I'm starting to doubt your poor status.
I'm
I'm starting to doubt your grown-up poor status. This boy
Yeah.
just talked to us about having something that did AI movements as a
He
robot,
did.
It was
and it wasn't a
okay.
friend of his.
No,
Yeah.
okay. It was
Like,
something my grandparents
I was lucky
got
to
me.
afford a cardboard box of electrical
Let me.
tape.
Tiny's mom put his Christmas present in a box for one of those one year,
Yeah,
but
because you found
What-
it in the trash over
I
at
actually,
somebody else's
I actually
house.
remember the Zord you were talking about because I always thought that toy was so badass.
I mean,
Yeah,
I remember
well,
the toy too. Seeing it at
it-
the Walmart, going, "Mom."
It was one of
She
those.
goes,
It was
"No."
like the big toy that year, and I remember I wanted it really bad, and I can never figure out how to make it work. But I remember watching that VHS, and I actually have never watched the rest of it, like the rest of the series. But I watched the movie. I remember thinking that because each one has a different like power up sequence from where their Zords come from.
Was it the Crimson Ranger?
I think it was.
that might have been Ninja Storm.
I think it may have been the Time Ranger or the
Quantum
Crimson
Ranger.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. You were
'Cause
thinking
it came,
time.
because it
No,
came
quantum,
from the
yeah.
quantum
I'll
realm.
look that up.
Because like the way that they got their Zords in Time Force was they were like set on this platform, and then this giant robot in another dimension would hit them on the back with a
The
hammer.
Quantosaurus Rex.
That cheese dripping on their fresh.
Oh my gosh! Remember that big old dino?
Dude, I remember thinking that those Power Rangers looked so cool, and I remember the big like guns that they had that was just made out of like cardboard.
Dude, look at that
Yeah.
dino.
Yeah,
Tiny
it
could put
was
a picture of this
sick.
up in post.
Yeah,
It
I
was
remember
sick
that.
as
I remember
shit.
that.
God, and then it had its transformed version that was so freaking cool because the Extra Ranger stuff had transformer versions, like the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
When it had a Thunder Zord, it had the Red Dragon Thunder Zord that transformed into the Red Dragon Fighter.
Yeah, the extra ones could always just train into a Zord on themselves.
And then you had the Megazord mode that it had all by itself. It had missiles for an arm.
Yeah, they had like the missile arm. Yeah,
Missile
No,
arms.
Oh, it was so
Let me
cool.
zoom in on missile arms. Oh, well, it's a cheap website. Hold still. Hold still. Cheap website. I can't. It won't anymore.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That was one of my favorite VHS tapes.
Dude, I think my absolute favorite was Power Rangers, in my opinion, OG.
Yeah, the Mighty Morphin.
You know, Mighty Morphin. I loved Mighty Morphin, and then the Ninja Rangers, like the one right after, I thought was so cool. But the weird thing was there was two different versions of how they got their powers. There was the TV movie version, and then the movie version.
Yeah, because in the movie
in the TV movie version there was he looked kind of like a Blue Ranger but mixed with Bomberman.
And you don't even remember his. You don't remember.
I can't remember his name.
You don't remember.
His name is.
You don't know his name or how his voice sounded, but I'm going to give you both of them in the same.
I knew you would do it.
You're messing with the great and powerful Ninja. I remember seeing this clip and thinking, "Wow, that's stupid."
But he was cool though when you was a little kid.
Yeah.
And the Queen of the Planet, that the Power Rangers were on in the Power Rangers movie when they got their ninja powers from that other planet.
As a little kid, I was like, she is so pretty.
Her name's Elsie. Her name was Elsie, and you wouldn't have recognized her. But she's actually the main character on SVU, the Mariska or whatever her name is.
It's been a long time since I've watched Law and Order SUV.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like she's famous,
right?
But
she was in the Power Rangers movie.
Here's the thing: I can't recall if they.
That's the TV movie.
No, it's the real movie.
No, she was in the movie. Yeah, she was the queen on the planet, and the real.
Yeah, they turned into the owl, the kind, like a frog that you kiss, and it turns into a prince. Because Adam,
they blur together super easy.
Because remember, Adam, the Black Ranger, was like everybody's all excited because she was like, Tommy, the power of the White Falcon, and then he's like, she's like, Adam, what's wrong? I'm a frog.
I mean, that's fair.
And she's like, the kind that you kiss, and it turns into a prince. Now, here's the thing. I might be misremembering it because I know that she had done footage for the show, but I can't remember if she was actually in the movie that.
She was in the movie.
Was she in the movie?
Yeah, because they went to the planet, and she was in nothing but the leaf bikini.
No, I know that I know there was an actress there, but I don't know if it was her because I know
it was a redhead, right?
Because
I think it was like a strawberry blonde.
Because I think
this
might have been some footage that I'd seen or something that was like she had done some stuff for it, but she wanted to go home for Christmas, and she was like, I'm going to go home for Christmas. They haven't used me in 3 weeks. She went home for Christmas, and she got done with Christmas, and she's like, all right, guys, I'm coming back. What do you need? And they're like, no, we don't need you anymore. So I don't know if she actually made it to the movie or not.
Gotcha. So the person who was originally supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't.
What was her name?
I don't remember. I mean, it was Elsie or something like that. Princess something other.
Okay.
I can't recall. I can just look it up too. I'm quick.
Yeah, because I'm looking through the list right now on the Googles. Okay, I don't know. That seems like I'm not seeing it on the main one. I'll let you dig deeper.
Oh, I can get you there. I can get you there real fast and in a hurry, especially with the assistance of the internationalmoviedatabase.com. Because if you get on the internationalmoviedatabase.com, they will be able to tell you who played who and did what.
Okay. Will this be the internationalmoviedatabase.com?
This is going to be, her name was Dulcia, and no, that was played by Gabrielle Fitzpatrick, because she was the actress that took the place of the other one that I was talking about because of the Christmas debacle. Like, oh, you're not using me, like, I'm going to go home for Christmas, and then they just replaced her for
why was she
cheaper.
Princess Fiona colored on your phone?
What? No, that's how she just looks in the movie.
Oh, the other picture was very green.
Let me see the one from the movie. See if I can.
Remember. I see.
Okay, yeah. I remember her now.
I think that's just the piss filter.
I didn't remember what she wore. I remember it was drastically smaller than any other thing I'd ever seen a woman wear as a child.
Especially for a kid's TV show. I remember thinking, like,
risque.
I shouldn't be looking at that, but I kind of like looking at that.
I was old enough to appreciate it, but I didn't understand why I appreciated it.
I think
that's literally what you just said.
I mean, also just the redoing of the character, like armors and costuming for Goldar and Rita and Zed.
Dude, like that just straight up like flowy ninja get up. That to me was just like the coolest.
That was cool in the show, but it was even cooler in the movies.
Yeah, because it'd fly around in the wind and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
That just looks cool, so much cooler.
And they had all these powers. They'd call it Ninja Corkscrew Kick.
Yep.
And they brought out stuff in the movies they never used in the thing because they had budget. So he was like, "Hold on, let me use my scanner." And he like transformed his his Tyrannosaurus Rex helmet into like this area scanner that had a light visor in the front of it. Just
or the one where he's like, "Let me turn." He turned on like binoculars or something, and just put on like a squint eye filter on his visor, just a black bar.
Yeah. And then they put then Trini was like, "Well, it's really dark in here, guys. I don't know." And she's like, "Hold on, let me turn on some lights." And her the eyes on her tiger went.
Yeah.
And oh man, there were so many different cool things like that. But
I had to sell some toys, you know.
They had to sell some toys, but I think that
if I would have had those toys amount of money, you best believe I'd have had them toys.
Ivan Ooze was such a good character in that too.
He was.
Like,
what was the carrier Zord in those? Was it still the turtle?
They did. Yeah, it was the turtle, but I don't remember the turtle's name because the turtle went with the turtle went with the Thunder Zords. I can't remember the Ninja Zord carrier because
no. So the first one was the Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, Titanus.
Yes, and then
you had the turtle,
and then the Gold Ranger's pyramid.
Yeah, but that was in Zeo.
Oh, that was in Shapes?
That was in Shapes, yeah.
I thought he came in at the end of Ninja before Shapes.
No. The Gold Ranger's in Zeo, and that's Pyramidus.
Yeah.
So, God, what was that other turtle's name? I can't remember and then Zeo had other Zords, too, that made no sense, like this rolling ball Zord.
I want to say it was something like Maturin. I feel like it was close to some...
Like the turtle?
Yeah, I think it was close to like an actual mythological name. I could be way off.
You might not be. I mean...
I feel like it was something like Maturin.
Let me see here. I'm going to have to send you that because I misspelled one word, and you need to... That's how the internet works. Don't ever search turtle carrier cord because you'll end up with something. Tor, the shuttle Zord. His name was
not even close.
Yeah, his name was Tor, and I can't remember if he was the ninja one. I think he might have been the ninja one, but I can't. Yeah, the shuttle Zord.
Okay, I just had a revelation. But
revelation?
Nobody else would get it.
Well, Otto spoke in a revelation last week that nobody would understand unless you could speak in tongues.
Okay, so if you're on a particular short form video site,
TikTok, just fucking say it.
There's a guy that's got two huskies, and one's a rescue. Well, yeah, the other one might be a Malamute. Anyway, the other one's way bigger, and he calls him Tor. And he's always like, "Tor, bring your fat. Go get some treats." And now it just made sense why he calls him Tor.
Tor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Tor. Come get some treats. Hey, Tor, bring your fat. And then he's got like an air-conditioned doghouse for him, and he gives him filtered water. Like, this dude goes above and beyond. And they're super cute-looking doggos.
Especially when they're rescues, they deserve all the extra spoiling.
Well, like one of them, the newest one, Bear or Tippy Taps or Laser Eye or X-Ray or Dragon or the Criminal. All those are his nicknames.
Right.
You got his first one, Deva, passed away. And so he had Tor, and Tor was kind of sad, which Tor's real name is Titan. And so he was like, there's this rescue husky that he thought it was an old boy just because of how, bad whatever. Then you get to see him get my hair. He had to like shave the husky, which obviously you don't want to do if you have a husky. But
sometimes
he was in a shape that he had to be. And so, and he had the heterochromia. He's got the one eye that's super silver. And he would do this tippy tap thing. And he's super cute. But anyway, you got to see him go from like neglected poor doggo that never had a treat to just a happy boy that steals dad's work boots and chews them up.
Heck yeah.
I didn't realize that Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, before it became Shapes, Zeo, I didn't realize they only had two carrier Zords, and it was Titanus and the Tor we just mentioned there. And I got to thinking, too, about how freaking cool it was whenever they were like, "We need the power of Titanus!" But all it did was a freaking skateboard.
Yeah,
you are a skateboard.
Went,
yeah, you opened up, and you got to step inside of it. and it
But-
just carried you.
But
to,
every time it looked so cool.
because
you
it
know?
launched 76,000 fireworks at the same time,
and then it would do the two big rocket things, like from the tail, I believe
Yep.
it was.
It was the
was like-
tail would
it was
split
all
in two. The tail would split in two, become two side
Yep.
guns, and shoot out those rockets.
Yep.
But then the carriers would do something different for the turtle. It could like stand all the way up and become a massive shield as well.
Yeah.
And then you had Pyramidas was the next one. And I was like, God, that's Zeo. But Pyramidas was always cool because Pyramidas was massive.
Yep.
It was the size of an Egyptian pyramid, and your Zords
wow.
would occupy it and use your Zord's power to power its solar like Sun Ra God Ray.
Right.
Like it was cool Ranger.
It was the Death Star without being the Death Star.
It was
The
the
kid
Death
Death Star.
Death Star for good. Hi, Death Star for good. 2024. Hi, Death Star for good. Death Star for good. 2024.
Yeah, that's what it
Shake
feels
hands.
like.
It
Shake
was-
hands. Kick
What
babies.
was the one for Turbo?
Turbo.
Because I remember they'd come out like the parking garage.
I don't know if they
they
had.
they had a carrier Zord too. They all have a carrier Zord.
Well, I don't think they did because they had the rescue, like the rescue ones, like Lightspeed Rescue had one. I don't think that they had one for the Turbo Rangers.
They
did actually though, but that was the Phantom Ranger, and we don't talk about that. Oh, the Phantom Ranger was Turbo Ranger. So was that Rail Rescue? Was that what that was from? Was that from? Well, no, that's from Lightspeed Rescue. No, it's got to be no. Yeah, it's the Phantom Ranger, and he provided them with something. No, that's power. That's later Power Rangers. Guys, I watched so many Power Rangers whenever I was a child. I can't boot all the memories up at once right now because they all blend together.
Yeah,
you need to clear your.
Need to clear your
You need
cache.
to close some tabs.
I think I'll be okay. It's just kind of. Oh man!
Get
Why
over-
did I?
You
Did
get
that cause you a little bit of Discord? There's a link in the description.
Yeah,
Go click it.
You can do that.
You can get in our Discord, carry your Zord, and
Tell us about your
apply
Power Rangers.
weaponry to stuff, and tell us about your favorite Power Ranger and your favorite series and why. I'm not saying you have to write an essay. You just can. It's great. It's a fun time. Just get in there because you'll also get some updates and. We're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably circumcised.
Well, that
Thank you.
was beautiful.
Also on YouTube.
And
Hi,
Facebook.
YouTube.
yeah, that's
Hello,
true.
YouTube.
So
Are you okay now?
I've made it.
What up, YouTuber?
Have you shaken off the power of the Power Rangers?
Well, what are you talking about?
You got overwhelmed by the power of the Power Rangers and couldn't think about any more Power Rangers.
I typically think
Ooh, question. Okay.
yes.
So we're going to make our own Power Ranger forces.
Okay.
Okay, what
Okay.
what do you want to be powered by?
Yeah, what are you going to be powered by? What are
So
your Zords going to be?
What's our theme, right?
What's your theme? What's your theme for your Power Rangers that you're going to create?
Okay.
Okay, here's what we do. We call them Trailer American Morphers. Trailer American Morphers! And what we do is we can all draw upon the powers of the agricultural equipment around us as our sources of what our armor is based off of for like our Zords, but we're also fueled by our like what kind of farm we're on. So like power of dairy farm, and then power of milk farm.
Wait, what's the difference between a dairy farm and a milk farm?
No, not dairy farm. Power of beef farm. You know, like beef.
Yeah.
And then power of corn.
Let me hit you with this one, okay?
Don't hit me.
Okay, it's a circus. The
Thanks,
three
Brittany.
rings of power. You have the strong man. He's going to be this big, strong guy. That's the Black Ranger. Okay, the Red Ranger. No, not red. We're gonna go. Let's just go with pink because it's the bearded lady. Okay, and then you have the ringleader, who could be multicolored.
Hey, ringleader has to be a Zordon character.
Okay, the ringleader could be Zordon.
Tamer.
And the fire swallower acrobat guy that also
Yeah.
does the sword swallowing.
I was thinking like
That's
a beast
gonna be.
tamer.
That's gonna. Well, we can have one of them too.
a beast, like a team of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
A team of 5.
Okay,
What's
we're
the
gonna
team
go
of
5 team.
Oh, let's go team of 5. Okay,
Okay.
what's the first one again?
So we got strong man.
Okay,
that's
Black
your,
Ranger.
That's your Black Ranger.
Okay.
We've got Bearded Lady. That's your Pink Ranger.
Pink Ranger, got it.
And then we've got what was the clown? The clown. That's gonna be your Blue.
Blue Ranger Clown. Okay, got it.
Okay. And then we got
And his name is actually Blue. Okay.
yeah. He's a sad clown.
Yeah, Blue.
And then the other one is gonna be like one of the acrobats.
Okay, that's gotta be like that's Yellow Ranger.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yellow.
Yep.
And then the other one that the Fire Swallower, Sword Swallower.
That's the Red Ranger.
That's the Red Ranger.
And then their leader is the
Is the
ringleader,
ringleader,
the Zordon style character.
And they have the Rings of Power.
And their add-on 6th Ranger is actually the Beast Tamer Ranger.
Yeah.
And that's the White Ranger.
Mhm.
And they've got the power of the lion as their crest.
They go, when fight break happen, all under the big top. And that's their call to morph.
Oh, man.
All under the big top.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know why that hit me. Probably because I saw the thing Seven gave us.
Sideshow Morphing Heroes.
Hold on, Seven. You're the Black Ranger. So you just are.
7's the Black Ranger. That's what I'm talking about. And Otto is one of the goons that gets beat up. He's the Putty Patrol. Otto, you would actually be closer to the Putty Patrol because the way they communicated verbally, last week.
Bro.
You did.
Bro,
The way the Putty,
time,
did you ever listen to the Putty Patrol communicate? But
Yes.
when the minute
Yes.
that was Otto from last week.
I wish I had realized that.
It's a Putty
my
Patrol.
God.
Oh, my God.
That's so funny because
Smack him in the chest.
Oh, guys, it's the Putty Patrol. We're going to have to take them out before we can go get Smoothie over at Ernie's Smoothie Bar.
You got to punch him in the sternum. That's how you destroy a putty man.
Please don't.
That way we know if you're real or not.
No. I'll disappear.
How
They sounded like turkeys that were on like
it sounded like a turkey underwater.
like raspy drowning turkeys. Otto was just mildly raspy drowning turkey. He just said he quoted an elder Putty Patroller. Like,
Look,
this Putty Patroller made it to 7
no.
episodes.
No. He's
the elder. The elder's name is
his dad was a Putty Patrol, so every now and then he slips into his dad's accent. His mom was just a regular person, but that one putty somehow survived and went off and found his mom.
Yeah,
and then they did mommy-daddy things.
At one point,
and then you have Otto the Happy.
At one point in the show, they did transform putties into human lookalikes, so that's probably when it took place. Oh my gosh, Otto, you were born in what, 97?
6.
96?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was the season. Oh my God, Otto, your dad was actually a Putty Patrol.
Damn.
Real life, my dad's a putty. Oh God. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today while we talk about some superheroes that were color coordinated. I would like to also apologize that you had to listen to me spinning a yarn about my Power Rangers knowledge.
I'm not sad about it.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
I just thoroughly enjoy me some Power Rangers, and I think that everybody else should. So good night and goodbye.